Alrighty, we're recording now. We're doing the things, playing the game. So you can see people that are looking at my screen in the archived character pile. Iona is no longer playing. Hannah is not playing at the moment. And instead, please introduce. Oh gosh, which of you is playing which? Falca. You're playing Falca.
Hello.
At the moment.
Hello. I am Di. I am playing Falca, Falca Candleheart, a light cleric of light. I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. We got a picture. There's a picture. And we've also got, after Akeem's untimely but heroic demise, we have now got Isden with us.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in pancake.
So yes, Isden is a Gloomstalker ranger, one of the scouts from the Ironclads back in the old fortress.
Excellent. And given the dangers of the fortress, we'll have maybe those two were kind of ill. They were some of the remaining sick people that are now all healed and so on. And they were the last ones to get better or something. And are now getting involved. We don't need to worry about the details.
Hand wave.
Let's just a little hand wave. Nothing wrong with that. Last time, Akeem took a tumble. It was all very unfortunate. And, to tell his kids, it was really sad. And now we have, I believe, just started clearing the way to the final area of the fortress that is yet to be explored to the north.
I believe that was the plan, yes.
That is accurate. However, there is some business that must be attended to before we
Want your self-inspiration, Katie?
Thank you. Sorry, stole that opportunity.
No, that's absolutely fine. Your monster can have it.
Yeah. Wait,
oh
no.
yeah. Let me just. Where's that beauty?
Okay, so I assume we all wake up in the morning.
An icon.
Everything's a bit somber and full of a few. The world is full of a few less stories.
But more lights.
It's true.
And also more shadows.
I'm just going to put myself in what I assume is the tavern, so I'm out of the way.
There are 2 taverns. You may pick your tavern of choice.
There is the Golden Horseshoe, which is a smaller tavern near the more expensive rooms, and then there is the Fearless Ham, which is a larger tavern near what would be like the smaller common like lower class area.
I am in the Fearless Ham.
Is it because it's called the Fearless Ham?
No, it's because I didn't realise the Golden Horseshoe was a tavern.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, it's not. We could label some of this map.
Yeah, we'll get around to it.
All right. So I think we'll get up and get prepared. And I think we'll probably just mill about a bit, waiting for the others to get up, which I think is probably Sinjbin.
Bitch up.
Yep, you'll get your uninterrupted
No,
uninterrupted long rests.
No exhaustion, please. And I need to change my spells.
No.
Yeah, me too. Right. I believe we have something to do this morning.
Let's get it done.
Right. So I suppose we can have the ceremony outside. We need to find somewhere to put him temporarily before, because he deserves a proper crypt, in a mountain. We don't really have that ready yet.
No.
So, do you have any thoughts?
I cremated the other ones, but that feels a bit wrong in this case. Can't exactly seal the place off.
don't suppose you've got any magic that keeps things in check?
No.
Mm. Well, okay. Well, I suppose. Well, maybe we do. We bury him outside near the other, where we put those other defenders, and we take something symbolic that when we make a tomb and put a statue on, there can be something of his there.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, I do that.
Right.
That's
Well,
enough.
okay. Did you need to do anything to the preparing stuff?
Oh, you know, it's not really my thing, so I was gonna ask him what he wanted. So
Oh,
it's
that makes it
easier.
that's a lot easier. Otherwise, I was gonna muddle through. Okay. Right. Do you need to be near him?
Yeah,
Right,
we'll do that.
is
Possibly more privately, maybe.
pair of us, or just do you have to be alone for it?
I don't need to be alone. Might be useful to have someone else.
Right.
What
Okay.
to ask, I guess.
Pretty sure he's in the. It's probably. I'd hope he's in the back room where we left him.
Yeah.
So let's, just makes our way over there. Does the hospital?
It is.
Still a groaning person in there.
Everyone's better, pretty much.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
All of your dwarves are fully functional.
We'll go into the back room, and now I don't believe we picked a door here, so maybe there is actually a closable door.
I honestly can't recall. I don't remember you picking a door there, though.
It
so
did not get picked, so there may.
could
it
well
depends
be
on who's
a
attacked.
there can be a closable door.
Well,
I assume there would be if we put a corpse in there.
Yes. I would think that you would only put a corpse in there if there was a closable door.
yes.
Yeah, I think
Close
that's a
the door.
fair assumption.
For the record, Akeem he's laid up on his back. His hat is like as best as possible with the way that a fall damages the body. He's like laid on his back with his hand around his like axe half and his shield over his chest with like just the axe pointing out.
Yeah.
She'll take a spot like behind Singebeard and let him do his thing.
Right, let's take a few minutes, have a think what you want to ask him.
Right.
Five questions. Make him simple.
Is he gonna struggle to understand?
Maybe it's not really something I've done before, so we're kind of, playing it by ear. So that he can give easy answers to, I think. So, like, I know. What does he want to be buried with? If he wants us to tell his children anything. I know, we've got 5.
Okay, I can do that.
Alright, you think of that, I'll sit here and get this working. Right, and I begin casting. Speak with Dead, which I should have a spell card. So I actually, there we go.
Yes.
Updated all of my character sheets.
Well done. Okay. You do your, I assume you're doing 10 minute, oh no, it's just one action to cast. So you do your, I don't know how you incant.
Wait, is that one action? That can't be one action.
Casting time, one action?
It is,
Unless it has a ritual cast that you're doing.
No, I don't think it does, actually.
No, you just go BAM!
Is it not a ritual
6
spell?
seconds and he's
No,
back.
no, possibly. You could just
No, because then you could just spam the... Right, yeah, that was quicker than I remembered it was. Okay, so... so, there's a... there's a kind of weird stirring.
Yeah, the corpse on the slab. There's this horrible kind of cracking noise as some kind of animating spirit leads this corpse to just sit straight up, like completely heedless of any damage to bones and such. And it just stares straight forward with unblinking eyes, like not even staring at either like Dravora or at Singebeard, just like directly off into the middle distance.
So do we just ask and it's Akeem that answers?
The answers, it's not.
Okay. Okay. Because she was told that she could ask. She is the spell description clearly states that the caster has to ask the questions, but Dravor is not aware of this. So we'll look at this. Look at the corpse of Akeem. And go. Okay. Well. There's not really point in me telling you things. That's not how this works, I suppose.
No.
So is that Akeem or is that?
I mean, it's not. Memory-wise, it is, but it's not. It's not him. It's not his soul. If that's what you mean.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's
I'm
still.
not. No, I wouldn't do that. No.
That's still where it belongs.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is just. This is just the body. I mean,
Right. Well, I think you should ask him about his kids first.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Is there anything you want us to tell your kids now that you're dead?
The corpse's head swivels and stares almost straight through Singebeard. And the mouth opens, and it lets out a rasping moan before speaking. Tell them all the things they need to be strong dwarves. Tell them what they need to know.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. Right. You all right?
Yeah. Ask him if there's anything he holds important or what he'd like done with his body.
All right. 2 questions. But we got questions.
That's true.
Right. What would you like done with your body? How'd you like to be buried?
I wish to sleep at the base of the mountain, beneath the earth, alongside those who came before.
All right.
We can do that for you.
Oh, you can do that. All right. It's like a tricky one. Possessions. What do you want to be buried with? I think it's a fair way to ask it, right? Yeah.
Make sure my children get what is rightfully theirs.
All right.
Well, okay, that's not helpful.
No, that's fine.
Uh,
Two. Go.
gosh, this is strange. He's not. She sort of leans her head left and right and watches as the gaze does not move in the slightest. Ask him if he has any final words. He always had something to say.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any final words for our fledgling fortress? Legacy you wish to pass on and such?
Learn what you can from this place. Do not Do not repeat the mistakes of the past.
Right, one more. I got one if you're done.
What is it? What do you want to ask?
Vengeance. Does he seek it?
Damn good question.
Right, last one. Do you seek vengeance against the people who did this to you?
Make sure they can't hurt anyone else.
Right.
Well, with those sort of peeps, only one way for it then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's clear. That's clear to me. And that's it.
And the corpse slumps as whatever animating spirit was inside it departs.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, well.
Okay. Alright, two things to do then. We need to find a spot to dig at the base of the mountain. I think, that's what he said. So
Yep.
next to
Yep.
next to the guard captain and her ilk.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
It's where the heroes go. That's where he belongs.
Mhm.
Well, I'll give you the choice. Would you rather help prepare the body, or do you want to start on the digging?
Body preparation is really my thing. I'm gonna go get a drink, and then yeah, I'm gonna get a drink.
Right. Which one?
Eh?
Where will I find you?
Nearest one right now. He leaves without any further word.
Good thing about a dwarven fortress is you're never far from a pub.
That's true. You're only ever two right-hand turns from a pub. Dwarf will walk up to Akeem, and he'll put him back into a neat spot. She will take his magic shield and put that to the side. Take the magic axe and put it to the side. Then has a bit of a thought, and goes over looking for Akeem's rooms, hoping the kids aren't there right now.
Well, it's not like I update where people are in this fortress. Here's the shield. I ran it all the way over. I held the key in the right key, and I thought it would move my screen with it, but it just dashed off my screen like a little escaping. Anyway, we can say that they're not there right now. Keeping themselves busy. It's a very dwarven response to the whole thing.
She is going to she's going to go find she's going to find the weapons that Akeem came to the fortress with. The at least she's going to find the armor that he came to the fortress with.
Yeah.
And he's going to find some nice clothes. That like Akeem's clothes, if he has any like beard grooming supplies, anything like that. Notably, she's actually not going to take his weapons.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yes, sorry, but that's what you're doing. Yes.
Those weapons are going to be handed to. Well, they know where they're going. So she's going to leave the armor. She's going to leave that, but she's going to take clothes, grooming supplies, anything like that, and she's going to return and do her best to make him look presentable and make him look like the sort of stoic at peace warrior she can.
The change of clothes helps a lot because obviously that was a pretty bone-shattering fall. It does a lot. You can do a lot to cover the extent of his injuries. His hair, it's all matted from the dried blood and dirt caked into it, and you manage to sort of clean it and brush it out, and especially make his beard look, presentable and clean, and it goes a way to making him look a lot better than he did. But he is still, dead and mashed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
She'll take away any of his the magical weapons. She'll take him out of his out of the half plate. Just take the magic items off and put them neatly to the side in the hospital. So leaving him now not presentable, but an effort has been made. And after this time, we'll go looking for people.
Yeah, I'll post a quick list, if you want, of the magic items that I assume you would take from him.
Yeah, his magic items and cool. Because I think I don't think he's got some mundane stuff, but
this is the kind of big ticket items, I guess, for
yeah, exactly.
actual party things.
Who doesn't love a party? Also, I vaguely am sorry today where we've said, come please join our game, and then sit here and have to watch something that you OC find difficult to get involved with.
No, that's not a problem.
Yeah, we will be done soon.
Honestly, there is no rush.
Sorry, this is taking me a moment.
Okay.
I think that's just rather than me copying down everything. I will. Yes, you take the equipment and the armor. No, not the armor. Yes, the half plate armor of Hamson.
Yeah.
But not the other stuff.
The others, effectively, she'll take the magic battle axe and put it up, and she'll take it off him so he's not being buried with magic.
Yeah.
He's being buried in.
There's non-magical weapons, which I guess you also take.
They would have been yes, but they are, but they're going somewhere else.
Yeah, battle axe, light crossbow bolts.
Yeah. And I think he probably arrived in some armor.
Yeah, scale.
Yeah, he arrived in his scale. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure. So we'll take that, and then God, what we need to do is dig a fucking grave before we move this body. So
Yep.
that's the next step.
Yep.
So this is something you can easily ask members of the fortress to help with if you want, or if it's something you would do yourselves.
She will. So I have a question for Dave, if that's not too much of asking you to do things about your own funeral.
Shoot.
Would Akeem have spent more time in the Golden Horseshoe or the Fearless Ham?
I think probably the Golden Horseshoe, if only because that was pretty much where everyone was gathering at the very start until we got the flood of new migrants.
Okay, then she will go to the Golden Horseshoe. Cough to get people's attention. If that doesn't work, sort of
Yeah, no, the mood's pretty somber. So it's quite easy to get their attention.
I am going outside to dig a grave for a hero. None of you have to. This is not an order. But I'm offering an invitation to anyone who would like to come and help me. The
dwarves in the tavern sort of look at you. they nod, they finish their drinks, and they follow you outside.
There's a slight moment of pride as every dwarf in there is like, yes,
Yep.
I want to do my bit.
Yes.
We're dwarves, damn it. All right, team, pile out.
We will pile out. Go over to where the other heroes are buried.
If you don't mind, I won't move all of those dwarves
No, that's-
individually.
No, that's fine. It's completely
That's.
fine.
Oh yeah.
Can
they're down
I interrupt at this point?
Of
Yep.
course.
Is the sound of all those dwarfs processing out something I would hear inside the Fearless Ham?
there. Oh
Yes,
yeah. Probably,
they all
yeah.
trundle right past the entrance.
Okay, I will probably bimble out, see what's going on, and then follow to see what they're doing.
Brilliant. Anytime you want to interject, do say, like, because you said you're keeping out of funerals. I'm not giving you ins as a new player. If you'd like that to change, just say.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I made a blob that I can't get rid of.
Right.
That's not right. Oh no.
So while we dig a grave and Katie breaks her map,
Ah no.
Where are you digging this grave?
if you go, if you
Oh, I
move
see where
it-
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
There's,
notice
there's a line of 4.
Oh,
Don't mind
That's,
that.
that's
Minor
significant.
earthquake.
This is not for other players. I will point out.
No.
We haven't done that.
maybe the characters though.
You will meet them as you watch too. On the YouTubes.
I think I will mill around towards the back of the crowd of dwarfs.
I think with all our hands, it should take us too long to dig a
We're
grave.
dwarves. We know how to dig.
It's true. We're good at that.
There's a song about it.
There is.
Now is not the appropriate time for the song.
So we will dig a hole.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, she will turn to Sinchbid and like wipe her brow down and say, I could carry him, but this is better, I think, if we do it together.
Yeah. 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 One last trip.
Turns to the others.
You guys go and get a bit of stone. Well, we'll cut up something for later, but go get something to put on his head soon.
Akeem is fetched, I think, and held. Do we have we have like stretchers and stuff, don't we?
I don't think you have proper ones. You have like
We can
rubbish made
makeshift.
The idea is rather than like carrying him like arms and legs, put him on something and carrying it like up on our shoulders, so it's like he's sort of can move laid up and stay sort of deal. It's not like gonna be a proper thing, but it's
yeah. You makeshift something together, and you carry him out. And word has got around. Most of the fortress is now kind of gathered around the grave that you dug. They've set aside their work for the day. And they've come to meet you outside. It's a cold day and the clouds overhead are just covering the sky. And word has got around to his kids who have come out and they watch you carry the body out of the fortress.
As wordlessly, she will. I assume Sinchbid is on the other side. Will walk towards the grave, and lower him down and place him into the grave.
Yep.
And then get out herself. Give him a moment or two of just looking down, bowing her head, before she turns to address the gathered throng of dwarves. This is not the first funeral that we've held here. It's definitely not the first body that we've had to move out of this fortress. But unlike some of the ones that we've had to move, this was Akeem, and Akeem was special. He came here, the first of us. He gave this place its name. And if it were not for him, quite frankly, I don't know if any of us would still be here or if we'd still have this place. He cared about this fortress. He cared about our previous fortress. He, more than most dwarves I knew, understood things about... excuse me. I find this difficult. The last time we buried people here, we buried heroes who had served many lifetimes past what they should have. And we gave them the peace that 20 lifetimes of duty was owed. But Akeem, she casts her gaze over at the children. Akeem did not have a full lifetime. Akeem had much more to give, had much more to do. He was sworn to his duty, to his family, to his fortress, and to all of you here. So much so that he threw himself into danger, and he gave his life protecting this fortress and keeping it safe. That's how we should remember him. We should remember the hero that helped bring us here, that kept us going when all hope was all but lost. We bury him here at his words, at the foot of his mountain, among the company of heroes. Although his soul is precisely where it means to be. I don't think any of us here will forget Akeem. I know I won't.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to look at all of you. And I'm going to tell you. No, I'm going to ask you one thing. I'm going to ask you all to join me here. And raise up a mug, a drink, whatever you have to hand. And have one more swallow for a hero of this fortress.
He was damn fine dwarf. Damn fine.
To a damn fine dwarf.
Fine dwarf.
There is. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Unless you have more.
No, that's her.
Silence as members of the fortress come up. The shovel dirt, cover the grave. And then a moment longer, once freshly turned earth is level with the ground. And then the sound of life resuming. And the fortress carrying on as people go back to their work.
I will, have they dragged a rock over here?
Yep. I'm going
Brilliant.
to delete the token.
Yep. Alright, I'm, This may take a while. Is it a big rock? It should be a big rock. I want a big rock.
It's a big rock. They roll
Alright.
it. It's a boulder.
I am going to very slowly and carefully pull out my mason's tools and inscribe all the written verses of the epic of the fortress founding on the rock.
You may do this. This will take you most of the day.
Yep. That is me now.
I think there's one more thing I want to do, funeral related, which is she wants she needs to find Akeem's kids.
They're there.
So while watching Singebeard get started, and get to work, she will then turn to them and say, "I know we spoke about things last night, but there's one more thing that I need to do for your father. There's one thing he asked me to do for him.
Go ahead.
Let's go to his room.
Okay.
She'll lead the kids back inside, leaving Singebeard, and whoever else I suppose is watching Singebeard to do that.
I'll be right back while you do that. So I'm just going to let the cat downstairs.
Well, there is also a fortress cat pointing out.
Hold on, they're phasing through walls. Got them.
That
Okay,
deleted
they're back.
token was painful. She'll walk inside, and she knows where she left Akeem's stuff. Okay. So, I have a question for you two.
Yes.
Are either of you two good with books?
We try. We can read.
How about arms, armor, that sort of things? Again,
I do my best.
she's doing that thing where she has the conversation with the young one by looking at them while probably talking to the old. Good, good. Well, I ask because your father had one final request. She'll turn and pick up his... Did he start with an axe or a hammer?
Yeah, so he's
Axe.
got a non-magical battle axe and a magical battle axe.
Turn and pick up his axe. Like, feels the weight of it. Walks over, presents it to the older child. This was your father's. He wanted you to have it. If this is not your path, then, well, it'll go to you. It'll go to you, the younger one.
Thank you.
I
hope to wield it one day in service of the fortress, like he did.
I don't need to tell you to honor it. I think you already will. You're strong. You'll get through this. These are your things now. This is your room now.
I understand.
This is your legacy. You will not disappoint your father.
No.
She'll reach out and rather than, because she's kind of talking to him down a bit, will reach out and give them like a proper grabbing the arm, like I am shaking your hand as I like shaking your arm as like an equal adult thing, rather than like being nice to a kid.
They are appreciative of this gesture.
Excellent. She will.
You can see it in their eyes.
She will leave them with Akeem's equipment.
Yes. So specifically, which equipment are you giving them, and which are you keeping for the party, if any?
She is giving them Akeem's like more ancestral equipment. She's giving them the scale mail, the battle axe.
The original stuff.
Yeah, the original stuff that's that Akeem had. I don't know if it was family stuff or if he just had that for a long time. But she's giving anything Akeem had collected in his books for the reading and things, because she doesn't know what they're good at or what their path is. But she's giving him Akeem's axe, Akeem's original stuff.
His original lyre, I guess.
Yeah, his
crossbow.
There's the magic one as well.
Yeah, there's a crossbow
Oh
there
no,
as
I'm going to
well.
do something with the magic bow. I'm going to do something with the magic bow.
Yeah, there's a crossbow laid out. Basically, the entire smorgasbord of Akeem's books.
Yeah, I'm looking
musical
down his
instruments,
equipment
weapons,
list, just
armor.
all the stuff.
Whatever you do in
Engravers
your
tools.
life, there'll be something here that is probably suited to you, including like the books and everything. This is his life is now their life as well. That's a terrible way of putting it. It belongs to the family, and the family line continues.
I see.
But the things that were found in this fortress, and the things that were found in this fortress and that have been picked up and used in defense of this fortress, she has not given to children. Because
I see.
slightly upsettingly, I suppose, they need to be used in defense and protection of the fortress.
That's like a fancy way of saying we're keeping all the magic stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, yes.
Justified.
Yes, but if Lakeem had said bury with me with what I have,
that's why I did
a half plate with the magic.
That's why I did speak with Dad.
Could
If he
you,
said
could
bury
you
me with
imagine
shit,
if I did that?
Yeah, that would have been fine.
absolutely.
I'm taking it with me.
Yeah,
with
sorry
dwarves,
guys, you can't have any
yeah.
of this magical bullshit. My character wants to be buried
with dwarves, if you wanted to be buried with it, you would have been buried with it.
That's true.
We've done these dumb things before with dwarves.
We have.
That's some real dumb things. Cool.
So I guess when Dravora's done, is
Yeah.
she heading back out into the fortress?
Yeah, she will. Probably to go get a massive drink.
So it's probably at this point leaning out of the hospital door is like a dwarf who's still kind of like basically like leaning on the door frame, like he can't really properly support his own weight on his leg. He says, "You're right there. Everything's gone a bit quiet around here."
Yes. Burying a friend.
Oh, I see. And he sort of like tugs on his hair a little bit, Forlock style.
Well, you probably. I mean, if you were in there, you would have probably seen me taking him.
I did.
It was
I did
Akeem.
wonder.
We had the name.
Akeem. All right. Well, sorry for your loss.
Oh, it's all of our losses, really. Though it seems you're up and about now. You weren't before.
Well, my leg's been giving me trouble ever since. Well, and he just kind of trails off and looks at the ground.
Before.
Yeah.
Well, now you're good enough to walk. Do you think you could? I tell you what. Why don't you manage to walk just over here and in this room? There's a tavern with mugs. And when was the last time we had a proper drink? Because I think I could do with a very large drink.
Gods no, I don't know. Let's. Well, that does sound good. I'm glad we got a tavern running.
Oh, there's two actually, but
Wonders never cease.
come on. She'll walk over and like, if he looks like he stumbles, she'll help, but she'll just stand next to him in case, like assessing how much this person is good to walk on his own.
And you hear a bit of excitement in the tavern as you get there. And as you enter, you see. Oh, let me just check my notes quickly. This is the new schedule, new fortress calendar kicking in. Yes. Where? Sorry. Thought this would be easy to find in my notes.
When is it ever easy to find?
Ah, there we go. So, as you enter the tavern, you find Istik, your fortress brewer. A little bit unconventional, but has been busily squirreled away in the rooms of this fortress's last brewer for quite some time, and is now excitedly waving about something new. I discovered it today! I've worked on it. You see, and then he launches into a long technical explanation that no one really seems interested in, but they do seem interested in the brand new type of, it seems like a cider that he has created.
Interesting.
Well, that sounds good. looks like you lot could do with a bit of cheering up. You should get everyone in here.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Tell you what, I'm just gonna go have a little.
Right,
Screw
you
it.
are.
Everyone's here, isn't it? Go on, let's get in. She'll let him through. Then pop in herself. Does it have a name yet?
No, I haven't thought of one yet.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not good at naming things.
Well, I'll tell you what. You never really know the name of a drink till you've had a taste of it, right? So
Yes, please try it. Please try it.
everyone, gather around. We're gonna have a mug of this stuff.
Yes.
Let's taste your masterpiece, shall we?
Oh, yes, please. You see, and as he slowly pours, he treats you to a long, detailed explanation of the brewing process that he's used. He's done some sort of quick brewing thing using the stuff the gatherers have been finding around the fortress. Sounds a little dubious, but it smells pretty good.
Sounds like surface talk to me. Give it a sniff. Well, I mean, it smells pretty. Cheers.
Cheers!
A too large. Like, this is not a sip. This is a glug.
Given I'm propping up one
It's-
side of the bar, I will also have some.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. So it's not strongly alcoholic, which is maybe a little bit disappointing. But it is light and kind of sharp and refreshing. Yeah, it's good.
Well, that's.
It's not like mind blowing, but it's good. It's a bit unusual.
Well, that's definitely different to the beers you've been serving. A decent addition. Sit there drinking that all day.
He beams with pride. And he goes off to show everyone else what he's made.
She'll roll her shoulders and go find a spot at the bar. With bringing her new friend, finding him a seat, and we'll take a seat next to Falkia, I guess.
Falca will wave at Isden.
We'll keep ending up on top of each other.
It's because we're both being polite.
No,
Yeah.
I keep moving one of you, and then it keeps making it worse.
Oh, Falca, well, I guess you must have gotten us here, right?
Yes, I did. It's good to see you back on your feet again.
Well, just about.
Well, one of them more so than the other, maybe, but you're nearly there.
I'll be right soon enough, I'm sure.
Drink that, it'll help.
All right.
Put hairs on your feet, maybe.
No, not. And Isden will sort of knock it back. I suppose introductions are in order, aren't they?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Sorry, where are my manners? Falca puts down the tankard and wipes her hands on her clothes and offers a hand to Dravora. Hello, Falca Candleheart.
Dravora will grasp it. A firm handshake that is. Actually, no, she is in her armor because she goddamn buried the dwarf in her armor. So while she would not normally wear her armor around the fortress, she is suited and booted today. So yeah, there's a like a plate gauntlet. Gives a firm handshake. Dravora, Thordrun.
Pleasure to. I've heard about you.
This dismissive hand. Well, you know, I suppose we've been busy. I don't think I've seen you around before. Were you here earlier? You must have come in recently then with the second wave.
Yes, I did. I came in fact, with Isden there.
Oh, that explains it.
Oh,
I'm
Can't
sorry.
say I remember much of the journey, honestly.
You weren't well.
Oh, I imagine. Well, I'm terribly glad the pair of you survived.
So am I. Funnily enough. Yes.
Honestly,
was,
for a while there, I thought we weren't gonna.
Yes, it was touch and go for a while. Yes. But we muddled through and made it here, and it was somewhat easier following the path that the rest of you had left. Much easier to follow than to be a trailblazer sometimes.
Yes, I suppose that's true. You had the other people leading you as well, and I hope the horse wasn't too rude.
I must admit, I spent most of the time focusing on everybody else and making sure they were all able to move for most of it.
Oh, well, that sounds-
Somewhat busy. Doing what I can to relieve the worst of the injuries.
That sounds terribly important to me. You might well have saved his leg. I've definitely seen people lose them before. I'm terribly sorry. I probably should have checked up on you and made greetings further. I just it's been awfully busy since you lot have arrived.
I think everybody's been busy recently. I know. The first thing I did when I got here was collapse and wake up a day or two later. So
Yes, well, I imagine. Yes, I imagine so. Well, it's good to probably meet and have a drink with you now, I suppose.
absolutely. Fargo lifts up a tankard and raises it to clank against. Presumably, Derora is doing the same thing.
Yeah, she'll clank and then reach over and
Clank,
clank
Mhm.
with Isden.
clank.
She
Yeah.
doesn't just sit in the corner awkwardly. And I think that's a nice break in the conversation, where we could have some lovely descriptions of the
Yes.
two new cat dwarves.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Falca is I think what that is sort of just below average height for a dwarf. Quite well built, as sort of most dwarves are. Has long brown hair arranged in thick braids on the sides of her head. Is wearing sort of quite rough and ready clothing with what looks like kind of a ceremonial vestment over the top. There's like a long stole, and is carrying or has a staff leaned up behind her that kind of crooks around at the top and has like a lantern hanging from it, and has a long bit poking out the top that has a taper in the end of it. Her clothes are quite bright, and there are symbols on it of the sun rising and lots of kind of flame motifs built into it, and is obviously kind of priestly or priestessly. Yes. Yeah, I think that's probably a good description.
Mm-hmm.
And Master Isden.
Isden is a relatively youngish-looking dwarf. Quite wiry for a dwarf as well. Clearly, sort of more of an athletic build than a particularly strong one. What's probably most obvious about him is he has a lot of tattoos on his arms, and the tattoos, for the people who were members of the old fortress, mark him out as being one of the ironclads, who were the basically the sort of go-to squad of people who took on monsters deep in the mines of the old fortress. But he's not particularly. He's not wearing any. He's wearing sort of like what appears to be like a heavy leather jerkin, And round one of his legs is what appears to be some kind of makeshift splint and lots of kind of bandages, and there's a lot of dried blood. Looks like he's had his leg heavily injured fairly recently.
I see. Do you want, for the purposes of the new player, description of existing characters, or are you happy that you've?
I'd quite like a description of the existing characters. That'd be good.
Sure. Well, Dravora is a bit taller than average. She doesn't really tower, but she's quite tall. You can't really tell how wide and stuff she is because she's currently wearing a suit of clearly dwarven designed plate harness. It is got a slightly strange color to it. It is not just look like regular iron, but it seems to fit her quite well. She's definitely young. Definitely younger than perhaps one might expect for a person that seems to be walking around and telling everyone what to do. Her hair is a red, quite like a dull reddy brown sort of thing that has two braids down the side and then one big long thick braid all the way down the back of her hair. Back of her head even, because back of her hair doesn't in fact make any sense. She has quite an animated face when she talks. You can see her like thoughts and expressions on her face. It's very mutable. She talks with her eyes. She makes a lot of hand gestures when she talks and converses as well. A lot of these sort of things. She does not currently have that with her, I don't think. So yeah.
It occurs to me I had worked out some kind of backstory for Falca, but I totally have not had a chance to run it past our glorious GM. So I'm going to hold off on that for now.
Okay.
Just in case. But
we could. I mean, you're welcome to do it now quickly if you want.
Essentially, the background I was thinking is that Falca is a priestess of. I have written the name down.
We have the list in the handout.
We did.
Halaseg, god of light and day and rainbows and other amazing light things.
Yes.
What I had imagined is that there was a small shrine in the old fortress. Looked after by priests called light tenders who had an ancient ceremonial duty of ensuring that all the candles and lanterns that lit all of the rooms and all of the corridors in the fortress were kept maintained and kept lit. So they would walk around just lighting candles, and did that so much they effectively just became part of the furniture in their role. But being dwarves, they also knew that when the lights go out, sometimes there are bad things in the darkness. So they were also aware that sometimes if you're going to somewhere where the light had gone out, you might need to hit something first and then light the light again. So they made sure that they had sort of weapons and armor on hand in their shrine if they needed to. And when everything went wrong in the fortress, Falco was out lighting candles, heard the roars coming from deeper in the fortress and rushed back to the shrine, where essentially sort of the reliquary was being broken open by the other priests, and threw on some scale and picked up a warhammer and went out with sort of a lit lantern and a shield and a warhammer, and basically found people and got them to the surface before running away. But that's kind of the background that I had worked up.
Yep. That sounds great. I love that. So they were kind of a sort of civil thing of, these are just the people that light the lamps, but also serve the function of, I guess a lot of it was stuff that was too small to bother the main guards or before they'd noticed. So, the start of an infestation of giant rats or whatever.
Well, the way that I imagined it was that because the fortress had been peaceful for so long and you had the actual soldiers fighting, was that it had become more ceremonial than anything. And a case of, we do this drilling, but, we haven't had to don armor and do anything for hundreds of years now. So this is just something that's done as ritual, and then the men hit the mill and suddenly they went, we're really glad we've done all that ancient rote training that we've done in maintaining this weaponry just out of dwarven pride, and suddenly this is all shockingly relevant.
I understand. So the only slight difference is the group you were with, the second wave, got stuck in a room near the surface.
Okay.
And then managed to escape after. I can't remember how long it was. I don't think they knew. Something in order of a week, or no less. It would be less than that. A few days stuck while the monsters raged outside, sort of hidden in a room. Lots of civilians that were rounded up, and then managed to escape after a further few days. Yeah.
That would work quite well, because if nothing else, I would have had the ability to just make food and water.
Yes.
And keep everybody fed, and I think I can drop silence as well, which also would have been super useful. So, yes, that totally
absolutely.
works. And I believe, I think we'd worked out as well that Isden was in that group and had got people up from deeper in the fortress.
Mm.
Yeah.
Before we met relatively near the top, and we could have just sort of bundled into the room and looked after the rest of the group until we could actually do a runner.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
Perfect. So, did we do descriptions of all the other characters?
I have not done mine yet.
You haven't done yours.
But I
Yes.
assume when Chinsbeard turns up in the pub, we'll get one.
Yeah, I
Yes,
can do that.
Wait for
Yep.
Singebeard. Singebeard's busy. He's got a big job. It's gonna take a day. You can bring him some booze later or something.
So as I think we continue doing, eventually, unless anyone has anything else I see they want to say.
No, I think just general chit chat and drinking.
She will then Dravora will bring the conversation around. Glance up and down at the robes. Well, I guess I know what your job was. And I know what Isden was doing. Have you thought what you'll be doing? Well, what you'll be doing here?
I was originally thinking more of what I had been doing. I mean, the lanterns always need the wicks trimming, and I haven't got any tools, but I know how to make candles and repair lanterns and all the things you need to do to keep the light going. And I could do that. I can also put people's legs back together again if I have to. Not
Well, we
quite
know
as
that
well
works.
as some others that I knew, but I can do it. And I can wave a hammer around, and even an axe if I had one. I can do that as well. So I just would want to be useful.
Well, okay. That's remind me to introduce you to towards Singebeard if you need some tools. He'll definitely
Okay.
help you out. And what about you? What about you, Isden? Do you your she glances at the leg. Are your days of fighting behind you, or do you think that's gonna heal?
Well, looks like it's been healing. I mean, I could give it a go, I guess. I mean, it's I don't think it's permanently damaged.
It didn't look that way. It should be all right. Maybe light duties for another few days, and I could try some more healing, maybe. But it should work again.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen any more of the other ironclads around here. I don't suppose many of them made it out. If you ain't got no professional soldiers here, then I guess I'll have to step up.
Oh, there's a few of the guards and the that sort of thing. Some of the surface lads flitting about, but well, no, none of the ironclads I knew are still around, and sort of pause.
Right.
My old mentor definitely didn't make it.
Well, somebody's got to do it, I suppose.
Yes. Well,
I mean, if it helps, even if I can't run, I'm always been a bit better with a bow than I was with anything else. I was one of the scouts, you see.
That makes sense. She sort of glances him up and down because he probably does not look like the standard like ironclad.
No,
In
he's
which
like,
he is not clad in iron.
and also like not nearly as like muscly as those guys are.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. No, that makes sense.
I've
Sorry,
been,
I should say I did my apprenticeship as an ironclad. It was always where I thought I was going to end up.
oh
But,
right.
yes.
And
Igluk
where
had
did
other
you wind up, so to speak?
Igluk had other ideas.
Ah,
Sort of
I
chose
see.
me for another life.
Right. Well, and I guess you've been chosen for something a bit more special here.
Well, you know, you answer your call and you do your duty. You know. Sometimes I think I'd prefer tunnels and all those books, but I do my best, and that's what's important, right? You do what you're supposed to do.
And he just sort of nods and awkwardly drinks.
Well, if the two of you are game for it, there's still definitely work to be done for people that are willing to put themselves in a bit of danger, and we could definitely do with the support. As you probably noticed that there's still that one area sort of blocked off by a load of rocks and rubble. When your leg's better, and if you think you could help out, and you know, unless
I mean, if you're opening up a new passageway, then I'll happily scout through for you. It's what my job is.
And then I can help as well.
excellent, that's wonderful. Oh, that's a weight off my mind. I was worried me and Singebeard might have to go and start doing things on our own.
Singebeard.
Ah, yes. God, I forgot there were people who won't know him.
I
He
mean,
was
there's probably a lot of people here I don't know. As sort of one of the sad facts about spending a lot of time down in the deep dark.
Yes, no, that's a fair point. Well, I'm sure he'll turn up at some point. I'll introduce the pair of you. He's been part of the group that's been, you know, clearing out the fortress and making it safe for everyone.
All right. So, good lad then.
Yeah, he's a smith.
Ah,
But more than just his hands as well. Kiercross blesses his hammer.
I see. So, pretty religious lot here.
Yeah, well, got to protect, I suppose.
Well, we need all the help we can get, I guess.
Well, I can go find him, but I see if he's done, and we'll introduce each other. But I suppose if we were waiting for your leg and for things to be cleared, we have a few days.
Was he the person who was carving on the...
Yes, exactly, that's one.
Right, okay.
You-
Is he
you-
singed beard because the beard is singed?
It's just what everyone's always called him.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Looks for a minute and thinks. I'm sure he has a name. As long as I've not known him that long, but it's always what he's been called. You know, have you ever tried to change another dwarf's mind?
Fair point.
Yeah. So I think, and I think there's going to be a polite drinking and conversation until, I guess, if Singebeard is going to be finished for the day and come in to drink. What's going on with Singy?
Tick, tick, tick. Tick, tick, tick.
Is he out there all by himself carving?
Pretty much.
That's where we
yeah.
left him.
Should we take him a drink?
Yes, that's a very good idea. I'm sort of used to leaving him on his own. He sort of seems his best when he's sort of crumbling to himself, but he's not going to regret that. Barkeep.
Yes.
This lovely new cider. Do Do you have a large flagon or something that I could take outside to someone doing some work?
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, we found this. I think it's been washed. It looks clean.
Oh,
We found this.
well,
Pulls out a big flagon.
would you fill that up for us of this lovely Gomrethazole cider?
Oh, I'll have to get to brewing more of this soon. You're all drinking me dry. He says that, but is grinning. He loves it.
She comes back.
Hands you a flagon.
Excellent. Right. Yes. Let's go get him a drink.
Just before we go, can I have a refill, please?
Yes. Oh, these dwarves drinking more. I'm gonna have to brew more. I'm gonna have to. Oh, there's no end of work for me. No rest.
When you
Pours you the alcohol.
get a refill, I think Trevor's mug just like moves next to yours. It's like refills, you say?
Oh, another one. Well, I understand that you just can't help yourselves when it comes to something that's brewed as well as this. I'm a victim of my own success.
I know.
Just as a note, are we paying for any of this, or?
No. So the fortress is kind of operating at the moment on a general take what you need, contribute what you can kind of thing. The dwarves are pretty industrious by nature, so it's pretty fair. It normally works out well. Everyone puts in effort. The elves are obviously basically made to work. And the Aarakocra are all guards, so they just hang out.
I was going to say socialist utopia till you got to the elf, but
It's
Elven slaves. They're not slaves.
They're not slaves.
They're not slaves.
they're
a different
servants.
caste.
servants.
It's
yeah.
socialist utopia, but with a caste system.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And there's dwarves at the top, and then Aarakocra, and then you go way down there. There's the elves. But there's only like 3 or 4 of them anyway. We're not even sure why they're here really. But it's
What do you
nice to have
think?
someone to do the farming.
What do you think of the name, by the way? You know, I think this is a rather nice drink. Gothamazol's finest. She's
Oh yes. Name.
I was going to suggest, because it's light but has a bit of a sting to it, I was going to suggest Poet's Legacy.
Oh.
Yes, no,
Yes.
that's better.
Fitting.
Seven.
And Akim's honor. Yes.
I think you would have liked this. Come on, let's go find old Sinchbit.
Oh, do you say he was outside?
Oh yes.
Oh, all right then, I guess.
Falca will offer Isden her walking stick, quarterstaff, to lean on.
He'll sort of take it, and I guess he'll like sort of test his leg a bit, and then as he gets further down the corridor, you'll see him limping less and less, and as it becomes more clear that actually he's mostly just kind of favoring his other leg rather.
Wait. Hold on, you two.
It's
Sorry.
just like I'm limping really bad because I expect my leg to be awful, and then it's like put a bit.
Yeah,
more weight
yeah,
on it.
pretty
Wow.
much exactly that.
Oh wow, my leg works. I forgot it worked.
Yeah.
Just stopping you here for a moment to say you can see that dwarves are working on opening up this entrance. It looks like they're making pretty good progress, and they should be done soon. If you don't want them to open it up in the evening, you could ask them to stop.
I think
If you want to wait till the morning, so you're like bright and early, or you can just let them keep going. You're not entirely sure how long it'll take. It's just
I'm gonna.
if you dig late at night, you increase the risk of opening it. Then.
I think the previous plan of what we did for the mines, which was get it to a stage where it's closed and nearly open, and then when we want to go in, we'll say, okay, finish the job.
Okay.
Fireball
And,
o'clock.
Just as an aside, you will have access to the resources sheet, I believe.
Is it in the handouts?
It is not a handout. I posted a link and I pinned it to the chat.
Oh, right.
Did
That will
you?
do.
I find pin. Aha!
So just in the top
there
right
it
of
is.
Discord.
Mhm.
There it
There
is.
we go.
Does everyone understand it? So there's 2 pages at the bottom. There's resources, and then there's stuff you can build.
Oh, where's
Ah,
this?
the specialist.
There's I see.
So the specialists that you have,
Hmm.
general value produced upkeep. So things like your deal with the elves, if you're honoring it, reduces. It's currently taking effect to reduce the value that your laborers produce because they're busy replanting stuff as well as producing stuff. Elves, yes, great deal on elves, because you don't give them anything.
We do. We give him disdain.
You can, if you want to like raise the living conditions of everyone in the fortress, there's kind of building stuff is one way to do that. So under buildings, you can see bedrooms, getting all the doors fixed and getting nice furniture put in and getting some fresh sheets made and things is pretty expensive, but will raise everyone's living conditions. And generally, I tried making like a mathematical formula for it, but I didn't like any of them
It's like
because I
effort.
didn't want there to be an optimal number
Yeah.
that you just adjust towards. So I'll be making it up. But yeah, more upkeep will produce more value, just not... You can't just do that to get infinite money, like in a non-cheaty way.
Alright. Why will that? What I have.
Yeah. So the copper and tin refer to the ores that you already have in your fortress. You have like one use of those, and one use of those basically builds one thing on the list.
That requires
Right.
metal, I presume.
Yeah, so you could use the copper to build a hospital, and then you would have no copper, but you would have hospital.
That's true. And then you build weapons out of hospital.
Yes.
I see. How mine
And
for
you've
fish?
got 500 at the moment to start.
Cool. I think we will have that chat when we have everyone together. So,
Yes,
Mhm.
it's not something you need to do now. I just thought this was a good little break to... You're about to break into this, and also this is a thing. You may do this at your leisure. There is no pressure to use it.
Cool.
I think it's mostly going to come into play once we've cleared that last section and we can start doing
Yes.
time skip stuff.
yes, indeed. So, take
And we
everyone
don't
out.
have a bird who's going to die of old age.
Check
That's
on
true. That is a thing now.
check on Istin as it's going across the drawbridge. Make sure he's not having a trouble with that.
Yeah, he's looking like, having done a bit more walking, he's looking a bit more confident. Although you notice as he gets to like where the daylight is flooding in, that he's just like, he just kind of stops and leans against the wall for a bit.
Yeah.
It's clear he
that
doesn't
looks
really
like
want to
it.
go outside.
Someone's got some cave adaptation.
Yeah. And when he does sort of walk outside, you see him kind of shielding his eyes a bit as he wanders over. Sort of sticking to the shadows of the trees and such.
And then as we go out, there is, I believe, Singebeard is working on stuff. There's a strange horse with slight horns, very nearby, watching
What?
the grave. It's yeah. So there was a couple of horses, wagons and stuff out here. One of the horses has
Oh, you
kind
can
of
move
like
the wagons inside.
stocky, has wide hips, a bit like a goat. Has like a, you know how some goats have like beards?
Yes.
Has them, and also has like the spiral horns on the top of its head, like those sort of like not like curly horns, but the straight up sort of spirally horns some goats have. Has them on the top of its head. You will have seen this horse before.
Devil horse.
This horse,
Celestial, actually.
yeah, it's an angel horse. This horse was like did like the fight, came and helped like pull like with the final leg of your journey towards the fortress.
I will wander up to the horse and like wave at it excitedly.
The
Hello?
horse. The horse looks at you. The horse nods, and then the horse puts his head, like indicates towards the somber situation of an older dwarf, currently doing themselves to a grave, which I think we open up towards Singebeard's description time.
Sure, I can do that. Where's my stuff? Singebeard is apparently a lot older than Olidal. little young people.
Whippersnappers.
Yeah, he's not ancient, but he is definitely well into middle age. His beard is not currently singed due to not really having working forges for a while, but it is short enough. Yeah. He does have one slightly milky eye. His skin is got little bits of like very slight burn scars all across it. A relatively average height, decently built, maybe very slightly overweight, but not much. It's mostly gone down, honestly. He's not currently wearing his super fancy plate armor. He's just in a simple work clothes. Got his carrying one big battle hammer with him. Big thick gloves. And is currently kneeling in front of this tombstone, muttering slightly to himself as he gently carves things in, pauses every word or so to check a scroll to make sure he's doing this right.
Singebed?
Yeah,
We come back refreshments.
about time.
Go and hand the drink over. Courtesy of Valkyr here. Had the idea.
Yeah,
It's priest.
yeah, good. It's coming along. It's nothing fancy. Once we get a proper thing of it, I will do a fanciest stone. Maybe something in the tomb area if there is one. For the moment, it's just will do.
Yeah, it's I think it's exactly how it should be. You quite alright out here on your own?
Fine, just getting the work done, and you know.
Well,
What sort of time of day is it?
It's currently afternoon.
Okay.
The sun's gone. Clouds are alright. It's fine.
Moving forward, I suppose.
What's this? It's not beer.
No, it's a brewer's new little invention. Some sort of cidery stuff.
Yeah. Alright.
What was the name you came up with again?
Well, it's not bad.
Sorry?
You
Totally
came
distracted by horse.
yeah, you came up with a name, didn't you?
Oh, Poet's Legacy.
Poet's Legacy, it's called.
Fitting. Yeah. Will do.
Well, I thought I'd introduce you to a few people, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I can take a break. Sure.
The dwarves working out clearing out the blockade to the last district is nearly done, and these fine folk have offered to help out with clearing it. This is
Good.
this is Falca. She's well, I'll let her give herself, I suppose. And this is Iston.
You're right there.
Right.
Falco will wander over and touch her tankard to Singebeard's tankard. Nice to meet you. My name's Falca. I'm a light tender.
Hey, yeah. Good job, that. Solid. Traditional. I like it. Yeah.
As Ism will just raise one arm and point at them,
Yeah.
pointing at his tattoos.
Yeah. Right enough. Yeah, more in folks is good. Lots to keep here. Things over in the fields and Canary's a bit yeah, she looks a bit shaken, so I think maybe I'll talk to her or something, but I think maybe she's she's not quite up to this right now.
I never thought the Aarakocra did well underground.
No, well, you know,
Can't see in the dark.
no, they can't.
No.
I mean, they try. She do right, but she's
No, they ain't
very young.
down there.
No, not really. Not really. Try as we might, they're still not. They're not dwarves, and they ain't never gonna be. So, yeah. We'll put her somewhere else. We'll have her. Sit in the towers, maybe pace around. She's still.
She seems pretty good with the children. We'll just, let her do her thing.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Well, should
out
do that.
of interest, have you found out how down the fortress goes yet?
Well, the mine goes a long way, I can tell you.
Oh yeah, that's
We haven't been through a lot of it, but yeah, there's a huge central shaft that goes 100 odd feet maybe. There's a couple of ones going to the side of that. Haven't had time to look into them yet, but there's
Well, so-
enough tunnels down there that plenty of
want-
things that come out of them.
What sort of things?
Well, we had some weird mushroom things. We had that massive, ugly giant thing. Some of those hooked bastards, and then of course the deep dwarves that got our. Yeah.
Right.
So plenty of things coming up. There's clearly goes all the way down there. We properly have a look around, work out what passages are still in them, and which ones lead into something
all
bigger. Where it's gonna be proper lot of work. Plus the old elevator system they got set up there is completely fucked. So
Did you say
we'll have to
deep
rebuild
walls?
that. Yeah.
I think I can help with that.
Yeah.
Falca
we're-
pauses for a moment and then looks up like she's concentrating, then comes out with a stream of what sounds like very guttural gibberish. Does anyone else speak Undercommon?
I do.
It's Undercommon.
Hmm.
It's something along the lines of, I think I can speak to them.
And Islam will reply, clearly in the same language. But he'll say, you sure you want to lower yourself to that?
Falca will look surprised and then grin. Oh, wow! I suppose not, really.
Know
mean, if
your
it
enemy.
So they made that very clear.
Oh yeah, they set the tone. We're just following through.
You've had problems with them, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was they're the ones who took a key from us.
Just yesterday,
Oh, right.
tried to smash through the big door of the mine and ran away. And when we chased him, he got pushed.
It's a very long way down that shaft.
Oh.
Oh, it's a bad way to go, that.
At least it's quick.
I don't know many good ways.
There are better ways and there are worse ways. I've seen some been dragged off into the darkness. That's a bad way to go too. Oh, fuck me.
Yes.
Well, yes. Either way,
There's some nasty shit down there.
well, we'll have to get up out with claiming it at some point. And if there's a load of those buggers down there, well, we need to get rid of them.
Isn't sort of sits down heavily, like next to the tree.
We got stuff to clear up here first. Last place we got into, that was connected to the mine, and the other lot, some nasty thing on it. Bad business. Poison, maybe. Cursing. Lots of restless souls, shall we say. messy.
Speaking of, apparently we should be getting into the last area tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
What are we expecting in there?
Well, that's the thing. We don't really. As we pointed out, one time it was full of one wing was all full of insects and these shambling corpses and cursed magic, and the other was all sort of underdarky things. We're pretty sure it's the royal quarter.
Well, noblish, anyway, whatever they did here.
Well, they had kings and stuff.
Well,
We don't really
yeah.
know what creatures we're going to find in there.
Might
Well,
be
with luck,
empty.
there won't be anything.
Yeah,
No,
it might be. Could
yes.
just be dusty old place.
Could be.
Doubt it.
No, definitely bring your bow or whatever you use.
Falca will lean forward and knock on the stone for good luck, and then realise what she's just knocked on and kind of step back. Sorry.
Yeah, fine.
Unimpressed horse noises.
Right, if it's all the same to you lot, I'd rather get back inside.
And do it. I've got a few more hours left.
Right. Yep. I suggest then we spend the rest of the day however we want, and we meet up tomorrow and get to business.
Is there going to be a wake this evening, or...?
Probably impromptu and nothing else. I'll get drunk. You guys, you folk can do what you want.
Bimble back in with Isden.
She'll leave switch a bit to it as well. And,
Bimble.
It's not long after you bimble your way back inside that one of the dwarves who was digging comes to find you. The stone's sounding pretty hollow now. We think we're close. Do you want us to stop? We've stopped for now. Do you want us to keep going?
Well, at the very least, let me get my stuff.
This is like evening now, right?
It's
Or
early
afternoon, sorry.
evening.
Leave it for now. We'll go when we're fresh in the morning.
If it's
Okay.
hollow enough to hear, do we maybe want some kind of guard on it? In case something on the other side gets the same idea?
Yes. We did it last time. We'll do it again. Make sure someone's posted.
Okay. I'll talk to the birds.
Thank you. Excellent. Good job.
As
Make
we're
sure-
walking through... sorry, carry on.
You've done a lot of hard work today. Make sure you pop by one of the taverns and raise a drink.
Oh, don't you worry about that.
Good.
As we're wandering through the habitable parts of the fortress, Falca will cast a critical eye over any land past and see what might need topping up or refilling.
They're just not in as good condition now that you don't have loads of lightkeepers in the fortress to look after them. But most of them are okay for now. There's a lot of torches. You don't really have high quality light fixtures at the moment.
Yeah, it's mostly torches. They're all right. Like they're going, if only I didn't like any lanterns are lit. If only by the fact they haven't been lit long enough to really run down. But yeah, it's not great.
That's fair. Dravora.
Oh yes.
What's the quartering situation like? Is it grab an empty room and?
Well, yes, pretty much. We sort of there's more than enough places for everyone. Some of the rooms are claimed. We're sort of working on the doors a bit at the moment, but absolutely. Pick somewhere you'd like. That doesn't have anyone in.
Okay. And on an OC note, is it if a room's unlabeled, it's fair game or?
Yep.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Cool.
Everyone gets picked except the elves, who just got assigned the worst rooms in the elf
There's a little elf
like
quarter.
slum that's down in the corner.
Oh bless.
It's not I mean, it's kind of a slum, but in fairness, a lot of these rooms are slums because it's not a clean place right now.
And feel free to claim your room, and you can even put a little text yourself on it. Name it.
In that case, Falca is going to be greedy and totally claim these rooms here. and turn one into a room, one into an impromptu shrine, and one into an impromptu workshop.
Sure.
Done. There's a big solid table that was left in there with a secret compartment in it, which was found. I think everything's been taken of value, but you have got that nice bit of furniture, so there you go.
Fantastic. I am not going to write anything because so far, every time I have clicked on anything on the map that isn't me or right-clicked, I have crashed out of Roll20. So I'm going to click me and me only. I think. Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to make a flip joke. You're actually saying useful stuff.
Oh, useful-ish. Well, what I was going to say was, given that I don't actually have any equipment to do any of the things I want, so what I will do is the big room at the top, that I'm now in, will become the shrine, and that's the room with the big table in it, is it?
Yes. Hold on, I accidentally put that on my secret GM notes.
Oh,
but
that's
yes,
okay.
it is.
What in that case, what Falca will do for the next hour or so is puts her shield and holy symbol up on the table to make an impromptu shrine, and maybe like put her vestments over it as a kind of altar cloth and make a makeshift shrine that can be used. Turn this room down here into what will become a workshop when I can actually acquire tools, and then the back room will become a bedroom. And she will probably using I've got a pack, so I don't know what is in a priest's pack, but I'm assuming I can probably cobble together enough stuff between my clothes and vestments and stuff to make an impromptu bed and have a nap on it. Because naps are important.
Yes, they are. Okay. Maybe I can find a bed.
The thing I was going to indicate towards you, if you look at Akeem's room, who has brutally had a cross put through it because someone's a bastard.
I did that.
Yeah, I know. You will notice that Akeem has a study. If you look at Dravora's room, Dravora has a room with a desk in it.
Wow.
It is the room with the desk and probably some books. Calling it a study would be grandiose.
Some of us just have small, simple.
Well, some of us have
right-clicked by accident, but I didn't crash, so we're okay.
I wanted a room near the forges, but there isn't one anywhere until we go. I mean, I will totally mine one out during the time skip.
You have a room next to the shrine to Kif.
I have a room next to my god shrine. Yes, I am probably going to move both of them over nearer the mine things once we get to the time skip.
I need to check and see what we have by way of specialists.
What do you want, Rando?
A cook/butcher. We've got a cook. Yes!
Yeah, we do. We do have a cook. Yes.
Excellent. I'm going to do some other stuff, but I'll let other people roleplay. Am I right to send some super secret GM notes?
Where's the super secret GM notes?
Well, I was just going to use the whisper thing so that I'm not actually taking up other people's roleplay time.
Yes, you can use the whisper thing.
I mean, we talked a lot of time earlier, so...
I thought I'd accidentally revealed the super secret GM notes that were on top of the room that you chose. That I then had to move out the way.
No, I have not seen...
And now I've drawn a big arrow to...
No, I have not seen...
Like,
also, when I watched the first episode, I also did not see any notes because I was listening, not watching.
Well done.
Yes.
I think some of us have an incredibly minor spoiler that we've been ignoring with the magic of stone walls.
Yes.
Stone walls are big and clever. Yeah. Also riots.
Especially now that the map's revealed, it's a lot more obvious that there's possibly something somewhere. I might change what it is, you know? Just because I can, because you've been spoiled.
Kinda, but I don't.
Well, so unless anyone has anything else they wish to do for the rest of the day, I am content to skip through to the morning as we are.
Yeah, ditto.
I mean, I can do, unless anyone wants to ask me for tools or anything.
Stares at Falca.
Yeah. Hint.
If we're gonna skip through, then I won't send GM notes. I will just quickly say what I want to do. Falca will try and go find the brewer, and see if he has any, like a spare barrel that isn't being used, that maybe isn't quite good enough to put actual booze into, but is still relatively watertight. And we'll make smiley faces until she can get hold of it, if at all possible.
Yep, this is doable.
There are lots of old barrels around.
Then go and see the cook and make similar request with regards any, like, basically rendered down tallow or animal fats.
Yep,
So
there has been some hunting going on, and yep, there is, they're sensible dwarves. They know to keep things like that.
Excellent. Combining the two things together, Falca will take those back to her workshop and begin the process of setting up a rudimentary method of making tallow candles.
Okay, you can do this.
And then skip to the next morning.
Okay.
Excellent. So, since we're doing a skip, it's only a mini skip. I take it people don't really want to, since we're about to bust open the next section of the fortress, people don't want to touch the resource spreadsheet yet. It's more of a thing once you've seen
we'll wait a bit,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Might as well wait at this point.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I'm just really proud of it.
In terms of resources, do we
Yes.
have scope on there to start including other resources? Like how
what do you
how far do you want to drill down on resources and things? Because in terms of like, I am also quite spreadsheet and crafty nerdy. So if you wanted to drill down to a lower layer, that's cool with me, to the point of like, if I'm trying to get hold of like animal fat and wax and stuff, I'm totally cool with drilling down to that level of you have a limited amount of resources for it.
My thinking is that this is kind of the right level of crunch for what you're going to struggle acquiring.
Okay.
So at the moment, you have people hunting, you have people gathering, so you just sort of have an income of related resources. I do enjoy crunchy spreadsheety things, but I think we'll start with this level of
Cool.
resource crunch.
Yep, no worries. That's fine. I will put
Because
my
drilling down to individual resources, like you have this many lumber, is also quite a bit of work for me.
Yep, no worries. I will put my don't starve head away for a while.
We used to
Past
have
the
to
point
care
of
about
starving.
food, but then
Yeah.
then some of us got great
There's
food and
now
water.
enough of you with create food and water that I'm not really bothering to.
And I mean,
keep super.
we've got elves
precise
on there, so
Yeah, the first harvest of like the quick growing stuff.
Oh god, I thought you were suggesting cannibalism.
that's entirely what I was suggesting. They are a walking food source.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's viable. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the game.
Stringy.
You're getting really. This is the spirit of the game.
Mhm.
So, it is the next morning, and if you're all willing to not panic for a moment, I'm going to.
Don't know about that.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a mess.
Did we
I didn't
agree
think-
last night that we were gonna basically first thing in the morning we were gonna go and
Yeah.
Yeah.
strike the earth? Okay. In that case, I am suiting up in armor this time,
Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh god.
and
it's
the
tough.
weapons and the stuff.
You do this.
Speaking of weapons and armor and
Here's
stuff,
a torch for you.
Mm.
in addition, after like breakfast and stuff, Dravora will collect that there will be a section near this place where Dravora has gathered equipment, potential equipment that she thinks could be useful to our new recruits.
Okay.
Uh,
You may do this.
what's in the
What-
selection of equipment?
So, unless Kate, so definitely there's going to be a suit of, like a Keem suit of half plate that was no longer a Keem suit of half plate. The magical battle axe will be there. I guess a pair of magical rings, and so I'm going to have to ask the GM on this what their opinion is. But there is also a magical dwarven bow that is not currently being used,
Yes,
but
we should
is
talk that.
in the hands of a
Yes.
player character, even though they're not playing the game anymore.
Yeah, so Hannah is not playing the game. Let me check what she said about this. Yeah, so I think so after your last adventure, after the death, Iona's got the fear a bit. When it comes to adventuring, she's gonna be taking a back seat from it, and I imagine Iona would be willing to give up. She didn't think it was a very pretty bow anyway.
It's true.
So I imagine Iona would be willing to give up the bow to a party member. Will be my ruling. And if I de-archive the sheet, I will find the details.
In that case, then there is also a bow leading up. And this isn't dumped unceremoniously in a pile. It's probably put these things are put up against the wall nearby.
It's a whoops.
Oh, that's
It's a snazzy bow. I can't remember. I think it was +1.
yeah. You didn't make it have a special effect. You instead just
No,
go
it's just
Oh, it's just a
It's
+1 bow.
yeah. It's well constructed, dwarven made, and it's +1 bow.
All right.
It is,
And it has pink ribbons on it.
It does currently have pink ribbon.
I'm gonna take those off.
Good.
It's like a slightly mechanical and engineered. It's kind of got some compoundiness, which seems to add to it.
hmm
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's this collection of stuff for when we gather outside the entrance.
Is there a shield?
Yes. Sorry, there is a shield. There is a battle axe. There is the
Katie,
bow.
can I have the shield with my holy symbol on it now, please?
Yes.
Finally!
Go on. You have your magical shield.
I will update my stuff accordingly.
So yeah, things to dish out. Magical battle axe. Is anyone taking that? I'm just gonna go down the list.
Okay, if we're doing this OC, then yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I was
let's do this.
It's just sort out AC.
On an OC, then, I can use it.
Well, so I would suggest, and this is we'd have a bit of a roleplay conversation, and then this would get handed out, that she would hand the bow to the ranger,
hmm
to Isden, and say this seems like this could be useful for you, and would hand the battle axe and the half plate to Folker. Well, hand the half plate, saying, was this useful for you?
Yes, that would be. It might need a bit of adjustment. It's not quite my size, but
Well, we can put it on now, or we can have it adjusted for you later.
I'll put it on now.
Okay. Well, she will. Then Dravoy will absolutely help you don that armor if you'd like.
Clankety clank puts me up to armor class 18.
Maybe we could wait a bit. I could just do it.
Let's see. So yeah, it's half plate is what? Is it?
It's base 15.
15, and then you have cool. 15.
Yeah,
plus
it's
one.
one more than my scale, so
Is it only one more than scale?
yeah.
No, it can't be.
Scale
is, isn't it? Yeah.
14, half plate 15.
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
It's less
Oh,
than
well.
chain.
No, chain's 16.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Half plate is less than chain.
Yeah, but half plate can add up to 2 from Dex.
Okay, yeah.
Is the thing. It's 15 plus 1 or 2 from plus the max of 2, whereas chain is just 16 and gives no fucks to Dex.
Right. Other items. Before
yeah.
I forget.
Other items. So you've gained your half plate. You've also gained a magical battle axe, which is just a battle axe that has +1 on it.
Okay,
The way
I'll
to do
need
that.
to add that. Oh no, sorry, carry on.
The way to add that is if you go to your attacks and spellcasting section.
It also has a
Yes.
name.
It does have a name. If Dax could drop that bad boy.
I don't have access to my character sheet anymore.
Whoops. Oh, sorry.
Kate, you can drop that bad boy.
Hold on. I reactivated Akeem, so maybe that broke it,
Uh,
so that I could get to Akeem's items. No, you should have both.
Should I? Oh, I do now.
Yeah.
Right, let me
Battle
just
axe
double
is
check.
1d8.
So the main thing, yeah, it'll.
And its name is Bombercam.
How am I spelling that?
Bomakam. In fact, I'll just.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. I've got that. Okay, so that is 1d8 plus 1.
So the way to do it is, in the macro, you have attack, strength. Don't put +1 on the proficient section. Or where it says magic bonus, put a 1.
1. Okay.
And that if you roll that, just to test, that should add to the damage and your thing. You notice it's adding your 1 strength, your 3 proficiency, and your 1 magic for a total of +5. And if you roll
Nice.
damage,
Just click the name.
I'm just gonna nip to the loo while you're dishing
Yeah,
out
it's adding it.
items and
It's a
sorting this
terrible
out.
roll, but it's adding it.
yeah, you notice it will do your roll
Dax,
of.
you have access to Akeem's sheet, so that can help with dishing out magic items.
Sure, okay.
Use it.
I'm guessing I also need to put the half plate on. Did that have a name as well?
So it's called the. Hang on, let me.
It's the armor of Hamson.
Yeah.
How am I spelling
It's
that?
not magical. It's called the Armor of Hamsin because that's the guy who used to own it.
So really, you
Why
could call
not
it the
put a
armor of
name?
Hakim.
You can do, yeah.
How am I spelling your name?
A-
Or your former name?
AKIM.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Cool. Let me just test something.
I'm the only person who does not currently have magic item. Well, I'm not. But
You have a magic shield.
yeah, I meant weapon. I don't do magic damage immediately.
Oh,
I
that's
could,
neat. That does
but
work.
then I'd be taking it off the
So
paladin.
you've got your 3 dex, you've got 2 from your archery, 3 proficient, and 1 magic. Yeah.
The other things that need handing out are there's a ring of mind shielding, which I'll volunteer for if nobody else
Yeah,
wants.
I was going to recommend that.
And there's a ring of spell storing,
That's
which
interesting.
currently has 1 cast of detect magic in it.
Oh, that's not bad.
What does the ring of mind shielding do?
Oh God, I can't remember the exact details, but it prevents you from being.
Oh, so your mind being read, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
I put that on the scout, definitely.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, I will take that then.
And the spell storing should probably go to, I guess, one of our clerics?
One of the casters, yeah. I mean, it
Mhm.
depends what we're going to fill it with. There are lots of ways to use that ring.
But because
Well-
of how you do it, when that's not going to be super relevant for today.
No, it would have been more
Yeah.
useful if I got it last night, but I had all those spell slots.
Yeah, well, you didn't.
No. I was getting drunk in a pub.
But yes, it's got 1 detect magic in it currently.
Which is a level 1, so it's taking it 1 of 5?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Well, we'll sort that out when we use that.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't.
Do you or Dale have a preference if you'd really want it or not?
We'll sort it out at some point because what we need to do is work out what spells we're going to put in it for
It's true.
reasons.
I would make a suggestion to fill it full of healing magic.
Yeah, honestly, chucking a couple of lesser restorations.
We're all,
as,
we're all people. Yeah, I mean, a lesser restoration and some cure wounds and stuff is the idea.
Yeah.
Or make sure all healing. Like, it
well,
depends.
you
What
don't otherwise have concentration spells.
we all sort of have.
Oh, we do now, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bird's gone.
I'm going to take this moment to nip to Lou as well. Back in a sec.
Sure.
So am I.
Okay. I'll just sit here then.
Let's see what else. I don't think. I mean, I think that's it for relevant stuff. Like nobody in the party can now attune to the lyre, and
Yeah.
we have a scroll of Crown of Madness, and I don't know if any of us can cast that.
I
now.
don't think we can. No. No, we
You
can't.
can just keep it as like a,
Yeah.
a memorial.
So I was going to put the lyre up. I didn't mention last night, but I was going to put the lyre up in a slightly drunk Zinchbeard will go and hang the lyre up in the wall in the horseshoe before he goes to bed. Just like putting 2 nails in, put it up there, without
Mhm.
comment, and then just like stumble off to sleep.
Yeah.
You may do this.
And I think that's everything relevant. Actually, I'm now looking through it and being like, what of this shit do I want? Now I have the opportunity to loot my old character's corpse. I don't think I actually need anything on there.
Okie dokie. Let me find a.
I would have loved the axe, but it's an axe, not hammer, so I'm not going to use it.
The aesthetic.
I am back.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Forge Cleric aesthetic demands hammers, not axes.
Okay, I put the
I'm
fire
also
on the
back.
wall in the tavern.
All right, I think we're
Welcome
good to
back,
go then.
Okie dokie. Dun dun.
Right. Well.
I hope I
Okay.
put the walls up properly in there.
Let's play Munchkin. We're going to kick down the door and fight the monster.
Okie dokie.
I mean, let's not do that.
Just so I can check, is the screen supposed to be black right now?
You should.
Sorry, I moved your character over to the entrance. There's a button I can use to make everyone go to where I am.
You
hold on.
should. If you zoom out, you'll see a small area is lit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Oh
going into
God,
dynamic
yeah.
lighting mode because we're going to the new territory.
Yes. I can't remember the hotkey. That's a shame. It was useful.
Well, I can't see shit. I think I might be in a wall.
Yeah, I also
No.
can't see anything.
I moved
It's
you both
possible
to
you
the entrance.
have they got their dark vision enabled?
Hmm.
Is it DM only dark vision right now?
I haven't enabled has sight.
There we go.
Please,
You have
please
sight.
enable their
Nice.
eyes.
Enable sight.
Enabled eyes. Okay.
60 foot for Falca.
60
Dark
foot
vision?
dark vision.
Yay, I can see! I thought I'd crashed again.
Yay.
And I should
Okay.
have 90 foot.
Wow. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if you can see it when I do that. I can see it.
Aha!
Aha! Let's patch up that little hole in the wall.
Patch up
Perfect.
your little hole.
Wow.
What?
Those torches seem to have a remarkably
Yeah, they're going
large
further
radius.
than they should.
Oh, so the sunlight from outside, I just gave
Oh, right.
endless range,
Yeah,
which is not what I should have done, but I was just trying to make it work.
I
Let
remember
me
now,
just-
yeah.
We'll just have a little block on the corridor behind you. There we go.
With regards dynamic lighting, before we start
Yes.
anything, I just want to say, I'm so sorry for everything I'm going to do.
It's
I forgive you.
it's fine.
Look.
We've done worse things. The lighting arrows and moving them down corridors was
Yes.
On a brief out of
Which we're
character
still
note, I
gonna
have
do.
an amusing anecdote from today.
fun.
In the towards the end of the day, I nipped to our bathrooms in work, and they have a light sensor in there that picks up when somebody walks in, turns the light on. It is broken, so it doesn't work when you walk in. You have to basically do a little dance. So I walked in today, the light didn't work. I did a little dance, shouted "Fiat Lux" at the top of my voice, at which point the light turned on, and I had a little giggle, then heard it from behind me, and there was somebody following me into the bathroom to watch me do a little dance and shout, "Let there be light."
Amazing.
I may never leave this town.
Oh. And on that note,
I was getting in
let's
character.
go into this new area.
All right.
Oh,
So
Can I,
You can all move the torches.
before we start, can I check that
Yes.
that what I have is dark vision? Because it looks like I have bright light enabled.
Oh, you just glow, don't you? That's not right.
Yeah, It should be 90 foot of dim light. If you're, I think.
You have got 90 foot of. Oh no, you've got 90 foot of bright light. Yeah.
Right.
There we go. Just set that.
Cool.
Set it. Leaving a section empty is not the same as setting it to 0. Fun fact.
okay. Well,
That looks more likely.
Right. So
All right.
before
Ah, you
got-
can see a long
right.
way.
Do we have
Well-
anyone carrying torches today, or
You can all move those torches.
Let me before we all charge in there. Do you want me to take a look?
do what you do best.
Yeah. If you don't mind, like, feel free to follow behind, but feel like I should be forging ahead.
Well, no, you've probably got the best eyes for it, and I imagine you're the quietest. Says,
Okay.
looking at herself and her
Ahead of
companions.
you see a grand hall. Here, the craft dwarf ship is the most intricate that you've seen in the fortress so far. You see a long hall with columns stretching ahead of you, and it is adorned with tales of dwarven glory, and it's kind of got holes where it looks like gems would go, but there aren't any gems there. But there would have been gems there, and that would have looked great. What's maybe more distracting? I don't know. We don't know Isden that well yet. Than the beautiful crafts dwarf ship is the general carnage that has happened here. There are corpses littered about, absolutely shredded to pieces.
So Isdom will just freeze up. He'll just freeze up and stop moving. And he won't say anything.
You're still in vision. We can still see you at this point.
If you are, yes, bear in mind, however, if I am in darkness, you literally can't see me.
You're not in darkness, though.
Mm-hmm.
Does
It's one of those weird
you're
things.
immune to dark vision?
Yes, I am technically immune to dark vision.
If you are, in dark.
It's weird though because I can't turn it off. So I'm also invisible to you guys.
You can turn it off by setting yourself on fire. Then you're not in darkness.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, depends on the fire, but yes.
Okay.
But what
I'm not doing spy checks.
I mean, in fairness, you'll still be able to hear me.
Yeah.
I imagine, as I'm taking footsteps. But yeah, he'll just freeze up.
You see anything interesting in there? Nothing trying to eat your face?
And he won't respond.
Can I suggest the wording on that is maybe a little bit more on the nose, given recent events, than you might think.
Gallows humor. Don't mind me. He's not moving. Trevor is going to walk up behind him and just give him a look to see if he appears magically paralyzed.
He doesn't appear to be magically paralyzed. He's just, and he kind of almost jolts awake as she steps up next to him, like he's been wakened from some sort of reverie.
Something the matter?
There's a lot.
Oh.
There's a lot of corpses here.
Yeah. Minister.
Sorry, just
No, that's.
I'm not sure what I was expecting. We'll be right. Let me carry on. Sorry about this. I just need to get my head straight.
It's part of the unpleasant bit.
Where's the nearest body?
So there's one slumped against a column on the left here.
Oh,
Okay.
we all just.
I will move over to that.
Related question: are you taking or leaving the torches? Because you may take the torches.
Trevor is holding a torch, as I believe should be
But
apparent with
I
my lighting.
put some on the ground, and you have access to them.
Take a torch.
I am not taking a torch.
I'm casting light on my hammer, so I effectively have a torch.
Okay, take a torch.
Take a torch and effectively use it as thus.
The torch is the hammer now.
With this body that I'm next to, can I use a medicine check to try and figure out what's actually caused the damage?
Yes.
I think I do that like this.
Fucking hell.
Oh.
Yes,
Yes,
that
you
is how you
can.
do it.
That is how you do
It's
it.
pretty good.
So, examining the body, very long dead.
It's essentially what I'm looking to find out was this
Is
done by
cause of
weapons
death?
or by
Yes.
claws?
So, it was done by large claws.
Okay, can I get an idea of the scale of the creature that did it from the size of the claw wounds?
It is big. Like at least 2 dwarves. The claw marks slice across the chest through, like, scraping and denting and poking their way through plate armor.
Okay.
And judging by how far apart the sort of individual claws are spread, you are looking at something. I'd have to look up the height. One moment.
When you say the size of 2 dwarves, are we operating on a dwarves are approximately 5 foot kind of thing? Or are they smaller than that?
Yeah. I'm going to look up the actual size.
They're a medium creature. They're smaller than humans, but
medium.
they're chunky.
You're looking at a large thing. A thing that is large.
Okay. Can I also get an idea of how long the body has been dead?
Yes. If I can remember, I don't think I've been entirely consistent on how long it has been since the fortress
More
got
than a generation, I
but
was.
more than a generation.
Okay.
Like
yes,
a long
of dwarves.
time.
Okay. Falco will, without looking, will just wave somebody down to her, whoever sees her waving.
Yeah.
So if anybody is looking, they are being waved over.
Singeberg is looking, it's just waiting.
I guess Devora will walk up or clank up.
Classic.
Yeah, so could do it.
Find something.
You see these marks here, these around the armor. These were claws, not weapons, claws. Something big, maybe. Looks up and looks at Dravora. Maybe twice big as you, with hands this big, and holds up 2 hands to show the size of the hands with the claws. And enough strength to go through dwarven armor.
Her hand tightens around the heart.
These aren't recent, but it was specifically a creature, not a person. So these poor people were torn apart
Lucy's
with bare hands.
Hand tightens around Lucy. It's halved. Right. Well, that's good. Not good. It happened, but at least we might know what we're up against. Although how they got into this area was a bit disturbing, but well, let's hope Iston finds something useful up there.
Well, I'll wager there's something's tunneled in here.
Yes.
That's what usually happens.
Yes. Big tunnel.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that as well as there is on. Do you want to scout? How does this normally work? Do you scout ahead further, or do you want us to come with you?
I'll press on a bit. I'll head up until there's some corridors up ahead. I don't know if you can see them. It splits off. I'll go and check there's nothing lurking down there, and then.
Right. As you can see that far, give me a perception check. Okay. So up ahead, no need for a perception check for this bit. There's a throne, sort of on a stand, up on a elevated, big, fancy throne. And behind it, you can see that there's a gap in the wall, which you can see on the map, but it's not a doorway. It's something has been smashed.
As in, like, the wall has been smashed
The
through?
wall has been broken.
Right, I see. Right. Looks like there's our culprit up there. There's a throne up in the darkness, and behind it, the wall's been broken through. Either something's tunneled in, broken down the wall, or there was something trapped in here, and it smashed its way out. I'm gonna head up a bit, and I'm gonna take a bit of a closer look.
All right, well, keep your ears about you. As you disappear off into the darkness.
And I'm gonna look either side down those corridors if there's any sign of movement, anything like that, and sort of listen out to see if there's anything I can hear.
Take another perception check.
Sure. Let's get that.
You hear nothing. Down the ends of the corridors, you can see what look to be sort of fancy pants, or what once were fancy pants noble rooms. Although they seem to be in some disarray, you can't really make out from here.
Right, well, it splits off a lot up here, so if you lot want to follow up, we're going to need to make a bit of a decision about which one we clear out first.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, let's have a look.
And he will sort of knock gently on the ground to sort of signal where he's standing.
So I assume as we walk in the direction, like the torchlight eventually illuminate a torch.
It's probably very weird actually, because like you can see further than a torchlight illuminates, but like there's just something about the way he stood where you thought maybe it was just something in the background, and it just and then suddenly gets caught by the torchlight, and he's stood there.
I have given you. Why is there a torch in the middle of the? That shouldn't be there. There should be two sources. As far as I'm aware, there are two sources of light currently. There's the torch Devora is holding.
I
and the
believe I have
lighthouse
one.
basically. Yeah.
There's another torch here.
Who is controlling that torch?
I don't know.
Because
I've
we're not
put it
carrying
away.
it.
Nobody has it.
Shoo!
It's gone away. As you are walking up there with the light, you see here on the right side of the room, illuminated by the light, you notice that, well, basically, one of the dwarves is wearing much fancier armor than the other dwarves. That's pretty much it.
Is that like one of the corpses? You mean?
Yes. Yeah, dead. They're all dead.
Yeah, sorry, I was just making sure it wasn't like a statue or something.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, no, there were a couple of statues in this room standing once, but they've all been just toppled over.
Right, well, this is clearly it's a throne. No two ways about it.
I'm going to climb up onto the raised area for the throne and look behind and look into the broken down part of the wall.
Okay, so the broken down part of the wall, yeah, it looks like it was a bit of wall and then broke. There's like engravings on one side of the broken stuff.
Does it look like it's been broken out of from the other side?
I would like an investigation check for that.
Oh, okay.
I'm remembering checks.
You are, thank you.
You're welcome.
So my mic has been muted for the last 5 minutes. I wondered why nobody could hear what I was saying.
You are not the first person in this group to have done that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that third torch was the one that I was carrying.
Alright.
Ah, bring it back.
But I had no idea how to actually carry it, because every time I put it on myself, it fell off.
If you drag
You can
select,
select both.
I will point. If you drag, you can select multiple objects. I will point out though, you only have two hands. So if you're carrying a torch, do you have your axe or your shield stowed?
That is a good point. In
just
that
do what
case,
I do: cast light on your weapon.
Yeah, I can do that. What I will do then is with the actual torch, if I just put it down. Put it down, little dwarf.
Put it down, dwarf. Put it down.
No, I've tilted myself.
Well, rotate your dwarf. God, you're slightly off rotation. That's.
Oh, how did you do that?
There we go.
I like it.
What I will do then is, I'm assuming there are like wall brackets or something in here. I will hang the torch off a wall bracket, and then I will
you can do
just
this.
cast light through my weapon.
Okay.
Which means, Kate, we need another torch.
Okay. Get off the torch for a
Because
moment.
the
I'm gonna take the torch.
The easiest way to
I'm gonna copy.
Yeah, the easiest way to represent
no
light
torch.
is just to carry the torch with you, because
Okay.
light
It's
spell
the
gives you a
same
torch's
thing.
radius.
And
And
yeah,
then-
a torch is a model we can just copy over.
It's just sort of sat on a bracket over there.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
welcome. Yeah. So 10. You can't really tell. It's a big mess. Like quite a hefty bit of stone was like just smashed through. And it just scattered all over the place. Yeah, you can't really tell.
And do those look like stairs beyond?
They do. So, behind the smashed bit of wall, you can see steps leading down. You cannot see what is down there.
Right, looks like we got some something descending into the a bit further down back here.
I know there was something important enough to smash through. It seems as good a place as any to start.
These corridors either side go off quite some distance, so just be aware we're leaving our backs open if we go down here.
I think that's true of anywhere, right?
Can we pause for a moment, please?
Right, you are.
I just want to have a look at this person down here. Is that the fancy body?
Yes, fancy body.
Is there anything indicating on the fancy body kind of what sort of social rank they were? Are we talking noble? Are we talking the king?
Give me an investigation check.
I can totally not do that. Let's have a look. Oh, apparently I can.
Yes, you can. Believe in yourself.
Yay.
So, something noticeable, you may not be OC aware of this, but various members of the various bodies have had, like, sort of stuff woven into their beards, gemstones of different types.
Okay.
This, and, you know, it's never really corresponded things, but, given that different members of the fortress have different types of stones woven into their beard, this body has diamonds, like little diamonds set into little bits of gold, and then to be able to weave them into his beard.
Okay. This dwarf has diamonds. Is there actually a beard there? Has it desiccated so much that there's,
Well,
or is it where a beard would have been?
where a beard would have been, I think, at this point.
Okay, so is it like kind of like little rings and little bits set in bits of metal that could be woven into?
Yes.
Okay.
And just doing such a great job investigating while you're like looking over for like items and signs, you notice a fancy hammer sort of discarded to one side of him, and you find on his person, let me check, and he has an insignia kind of ring.
Okay. I will pick both of those up and then call Singebeard. Are you able to cast any light on these? And hold up the. Oh, so it was a hammer, was it?
Yes.
Hold up the hammer and the ring.
Can do. You got time? You think they're magic? Check that. We got time.
If you can check for magic, I'm all meant. Do you know anything about the crafting in this fortress to maybe tell who this was?
Well, I couldn't tell you it was. I mean, they got some fancy stuff, but let's have a look. Good mate. They've got some weird crafting stuff in this place, or did have. Is there anything on there, Katie, that says anything about who this might be? Any names? Any
not
gods?
No, there's nothing written. The only signs of who this would be are the diamonds like woven into their beard, and they've got fancy armor, fancy hammer, and a signet ring.
Yeah, right about this being a noble place is enough, but couldn't say much more than that.
I guess because your investigation was really good, Falca, you also notice that the discarded hammer is clean. Well, it's like dusty, but there is no blood on the head of the hammer. It has not been swung in combat before this person was ripped apart.
Okay, does it... No, that's a silly question with dwarves. I was going to say, does it look ceremonial or functional, but those words mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Better it looks, better it hits.
Better it hits, better it looks.
It's true.
Okay. Sort of an OC question is there a cultural taboo against me picking this up and taking it with me? Would I be like, oh no, that's a no, or
No, that's fine.
Okay, what I will do then is I will Falca will put her hand on the head of the dead person, mutter a quiet prayer, put the signet ring into a pocket, and sling the hammer from her belt, and then walk on.
Okay.
We'll definitely have time to go over. We'll go over everyone that we find properly. First, we need to make sure everything's safe.
Yes. I just want to make sure that,
once we're done.
Just want to make sure that I'll be able to find out who these people were later.
Well, yes, I can't argue with that. Ifton,
Right.
you've been poking your head around.
It looks like, I don't know, it looks like this upper area may not actually extend too far. We might want to clear this out before we descend.
Right. Sure.
I'll tell you what, I'll take a quick look down here on the right hand side and just see how far the rooms go, and if they don't go very far, we can check them out. If not, then
Sounds good. Get to it.
And he will disappear into the darkness, and he's literally just going to walk, see that it doesn't go any further than these rooms.
And we never saw him again.
Is there anything particularly notable about them?
So, lots of destroyed furniture, like smashed up furniture. Sure. Because of that, you'd probably need to do some investigating to figure out what the rooms were.
Right, but nothing, I mean, there's no sign of anything or anyone in them.
No sign of any movement or life.
All right, nothing that side. Let me just check down here. Don't look like there's anything down this side either. There's a lot of broken furniture and stuff.
Well, if there's nothing dangerous, we can get
I just want to check round the back. It looks like it loops around on itself, but I just want to poke my head.
Do you?
I just ask him who he is.
Oh, this does... All right. Back there, it does look like it goes on for a bit further. So we could head down here right now. Or we could investigate the back area, but that's going to be a bit more. These side rooms, these corridors either side, there's a lot of trashed furniture and stuff, so we could have a bit of a poke about, but it might take a while. But there's nothing moving in there. Looks safe enough.
Let's clear everything else out first before we start making a ruckus and a noise.
Right, you are.
Make everything safe.
Right.
We'll do the other bits.
Sure.
Do you want to head down these stairs, or do you want to check out the rooms out back here?
Oh, let's if there's more stuff up here, let's finish up up here first.
Right, you are.
We're going down here.
Okay. And on that note, it's kind of my bedtime.
I was going to say we're getting near Kate's lips.
Yes. Yes. So thank you very much for playing.
No,
Right.
thank you for having me.